We live in a time where being tired, stressed, and sick has become the norm, and most people don't even question it. This show exists because I believe that health is not a luxury. It's foundational. You can't think clearly, lead effectively, or show up fully for the people who depend on you if your body is working against you. Every week on Healthy and Black, I sit down with physicians, scientists, executives, athletes, and thinkers who will challenge what you think you know about health and give you tools to feel better, think better, and perform better. I'm Dr. Jarik Conrad. Let's get into it. Hello. Welcome to this episode of Healthy and Black. I'm your host, Dr. Jarik Conrad. I'm excited about this episode. One, because I get a lot of feedback about, man, it's good ideas, but we just need practical tools. We need practical tools. The statistics that you quote, I believe everything you're saying, but I just don't know how to do it. And so we're going to be talking about a practical tool today that can really drive your eating decisions. Let me start by giving you an update. Most of you who've tuned into this podcast know that I lead a startup called Qonscious Health. We are in the early stages of helping people prevent and reverse chronic health issues such as diabetes. In fact, we're starting with diabetes before we tackle some of the other chronic health issues. With the app has been downloaded. It's in people's hands. Folks are giving me feedback. That actually leads me to why we have this episode today. You know, a lot of the feedback is, man, I just need something really simple. I need fewer buttons to push. You know, I need it really easy for me to understand and to use on a day-to-day basis. So we're making these adjustments, these changes to try to meet people where they are to help take them to where they want to be. One of those adjustments is this Q grid. So I'll show that to you in a minute, and we'll talk about it and how you can use it. I do want to make a really important announcement about Qonscious Health. I originally had envisioned going into organizations and offering Qonscious Health as a wellness program or as a add-on to their wellness programs because I spent so much time in corporate America as an HR person, having to manage some of these programs and seeing just how ineffective a lot of the tools and resources we had were. And I still think that's important. And one day we'll get there. But that's not where we're going to start. It's a full circle moment. We're actually going to start where I started with underserved populations, which I was one of them growing up in the projects in East St. Louis, Illinois. Didn't get much education around health and nutrition and, you know, the causes and consequences of these chronic health issues, though I saw them every day as I went to funeral after funeral. I didn't get really much by way of resources. So that's the population that we are addressing first with Qonscious Health. And we primarily will do that through organizations that provide safety nets for people in those situations. So think of federally qualified health centers and the like. So that's a shift that we're making that I'm excited about because ultimately it's going to get to people like my family members, you know, people who might have been here had they had a resource such as the Qonscious Health platform. So that's an important announcement. And again, for all populations, but especially for this population, I mean, we want stuff that's just easy. There's a lot going on, a lot of stress in many of these communities. And, you know, there just hasn't been a whole lot of education and resources. So this thing is designed to really partner with you along your health journey. So more about that to come. But let's focus today on this Q grid, this practical resource that people can use. And I'll tell you how I came up with it. You know, over the years, I've had many conversations about, I want to eat healthy, but it don't taste good. I can't make it taste good. And my rebuttal sometimes has been short, you know, like, I don't care. You know, the nutrition is really important. But in an effort, again, to meet people where they are and take them where they need to go, I need to recognize, or I have recognized, how important taste is for people. For me, you know, I like food that tastes good. I mean, you know, certainly I'd rather have a tasty meal over a different one, but I'm always thinking about the nutritional profile. And if there's foods that I don't love how they taste, but I know they provide some nutrition that I don't get other places, I will find a way to incorporate that into my diet. And there's a shortcut. There's a cheat code for that that I'll talk about as we go through this Q grid. Let me show it to you. Okay. So here it is, the Q grid, the conscious grid. So you can make more conscious decisions about how you are eating. So I want you to go back to school a little bit and think about that old XY axis that you had to map things on. So I want you to think about the bottom here. This X axis is starts with not healthy, goes to medium healthy, and then goes to very healthy. So think about that X axis going this way. And then on the side here, we have the Y axis that goes up. The bottom is not tasty. The middle is it tastes good. And then the top is it tastes great. So what's really important about this Q grid is that it can be customized based on your individual taste. So I can't make an objective decision on whether broccoli tastes good or not, right? That's taste bud specific. You put broccoli in the map where you need to put it. We'll tell you what the nutritional value is and we'll give you that rating, but you decide where in the map it goes relative to your taste. And then in each one of these boxes that you're going to see, we're making some recommendations about what you can do with that whole category of foods that are in that particular box. So let's go through this. First, you have, let's call this, it'll be box one, but let's say that it's very healthy and it tastes really great to you. So these are anchor foods. You should be eating more of these than anything. They taste really great to you, and we know that they're objectively very healthy. So not a whole lot of argument about that category. You should be getting more of these. What about the things that taste really great to you, but they're about medium healthy? I'm saying that's okay. That's good. If it's medium healthy, tastes really great to you, taste is important to you, go ahead and incorporate that into your anchor foods, right? But you got to give me this. What about those things that are very healthy, but about medium in taste? You know, they taste good. Well, if I give you the taste great, medium healthy stuff, you have to give me the very healthy, taste good stuff. You know, you're getting great nutrition and you don't hate it. So eat more of it. Now, there's another box that I think you got to incorporate into your diet. It's medium healthy and it tastes good. You know, I like it. It's not great, but I like it. Okay, you can eat those items. So, really, your diet should primarily consist of these four buckets. It tastes really great to me. It's very healthy, no brainer. Another category, it tastes great to me, medium healthy. That's fine. Another category, it tastes very healthy and it's about medium. You know, it tastes good. That's fine. And then this final category, medium on both. It tastes pretty good and it's, you know, pretty healthy. So these are all your anchor foods. Now, let's get into this. There are some things that we know they're just not good for us. They're just not, right? We love them. We love the taste of them. So I want to say you got to be careful with these, but you can do that, right? You can eat some of those things, but there's a trade-off. You got to balance that with those things that are very healthy, but you don't like the taste of. If you get the unhealthy stuff that you love the taste of, you got to somehow compensate on the other side with the very healthy stuff that you just don't, again, you don't typically want it. You wouldn't typically put it on your plate. Now, there are a couple of things to keep in mind about these boxes. Uh, Again, with the not healthy, taste great stuff, you can't live there. You know, you can't, even if you're working out every day, getting good sleep, you're trying to do everything well otherwise. You can't live there. You like there's a trade-off. You can't live over here. It's like you erase away all the other good things you're trying to do if you live over here. So the frequency is important and then the volume of food. So this is where you got to make sure that you're not eating the whole cake you're just eating a piece of the cake. You're not eating the whole bag of chips. You might eat some chips. Whatever that thing is, again, think about frequency and think about volume. You got to control that. On the other side, with the very healthy stuff that you don't want, I mentioned earlier that there is a cheat code, and the cheat code really is smoothies. I mean, it is the easiest, most practical way to get all this nutrition in a short amount of time. I mean, in fact, if you're doing it for breakfast, let's say you had a smoothie every day for breakfast and you didn't like spinach, but you could put some frozen spinach in the smoothie. And by the time you put a banana, some apple, whatever it is that you're putting in there, you don't even taste the taste of the spinach, but you're getting all the nutritional value of the spinach. And as a matter of fact, if you put enough spinach or kale or whatever the greens might be and put some fruit in there, I mean, if you put enough of that in there, you could get a third, a half, or even more of your nutritional intake, your recommended amount of fruits and vegetables. You can get most of them in that morning smoothie. And then everything else you eat that's healthy for you the rest of the day is just a bonus on top of that. It almost guarantees you get your nutritional allotment per day if you start off with a nice serving inside of a smoothie. Again, no magic formulas. I don't measure anything. I just look at stuff. I put it in. I know I need this stuff. I mentioned in the previous podcast, I'm not a cinnamon person. I don't love cinnamon, but there's some nutritional benefit to cinnamon, so I'll shake some in my smoothie. I mean, that's a way, again, to get some of these fruits and vegetables in that you wouldn't typically do, and it's unconventional. You could put raw broccoli in the smoothie. Whatever the fruit and vegetable you might want, you can put it in there. And again, just think about how you feel knowing you've started your day off with something positive. Now, you can't mess it up with a side of bacon to cancel it out. But again, this is really, really important. Um, it's really this box is really all about preparation in many ways. There are foods right now today that you tell people I can't stand it. And the reality is you just haven't had it potentially. You just haven't had it prepared in the way that you like it. For me, in general, I don't love artichoke. I don't love eggplant. And for a lot of plant-based meals, eggplant especially is a staple. And for years, I'm like, yeah, I don't like eggplant because I remember the first experience I had it, it wasn't very good. But every once in a while, I'm in a situation where that's all a restaurant has, or whatever the situation might be. And I a couple years ago, I tasted a dish that was very tasty, and eggplant, was the centerpiece of it, but it was the way they prepared it. So while I don't run out to the store and buy eggplant to prepare it myself, I'm a little bit more open now about different preparations because what I realize is eggplant has its own nutritional profile. And so if I'm not getting it, I'm missing something because it's got some unique stuff that not everybody has, or not every fruit or not every vegetable has. And so I'm willing to try it to make sure I get that nutrition that my body needs. So again, so these two categories, you got to think about them almost at the same time. If I'm over here in this not healthy, taste great section of the grocery store, I gotta spend an equal amount of time in the very healthy, doesn't taste that great section of the grocery store. So I hope that part is clear. Those are yellow. You gotta monitor them. Now, of course, I'll tell you eat all the very healthy, untasty, stuff that you can, but I know you are probably gonna want to monitor that because taste might be important to you. Now, here's to me these are no-brainers as well, but this is where we can make the most gains. If it tastes good to you, you don't love it. It tastes good, but you don't love it, and it's very unhealthy, just retire it. Take it off the plate. Save those calories for the things that you really, really love. you'd be surprised if you stop buying those things from the grocery store, if you stop eating those things at the restaurant or, snacking on those things just because they're there, you will be surprised at what a difference it can make. And so if you don't love it and it's bad for you, leave it. On the other side, I get that if something is medium healthy and it's not tasty to you, I get that. Just retire it. Save that for the stuff. If you don't like it, how it tastes, it might as well be very healthy. Save that for the very healthy stuff. So I get that you would want to retire that. Of course, I would rather somebody eat more in this category than the taste good, not healthy category. But I get if you decide, hey, that's not on the table for me, literally and figuratively. This is again the no-brainer. As much as that top right corner anchor is a no-brainer, this is a no-brainer. If it's bad for you and you don't like the taste at all, obviously retire it. Don't eat it just because it's there. Don't tolerate it because it's there. Just don't buy it. Don't indulge just to say, oh, I was starving. I didn't really like this, but I had to put something in my stomach. No, you find something else. There's always another option. So, so this is this grid. And again, the grid will be customized based on your own taste. So I'm working to build this into our platform in some way for people to be able to choose from a list of healthy, very healthy, and not healthy items and be able to choose what box it goes in for them. And then they'll have a map and you can go to the grocery store with that map, you can go to a restaurant with that map, and you'll know the things that are most appropriate for you. I have a couple of examples. In the Conscious Health platform, you may know if you're one of the people that are testing it out right now. And by the way, I'll make sure I include a code in the comments for people who are interested. If you don't get that code, send me a note at jarik@conscioushealth.com. I'll make sure you have the code. Remember, Conscious Health is spelled with a Q. I'll make sure you have that code so you can test out the app. But we're building a way to get this grid in there again for a more customized experience for people. And we go through every 2 weeks, we ask people to try a different diet. We have a specific journey laid out for people, which is one of the unique aspects about our platform. We're not forcing you to eat 100% vegan, 100% plant-based like me long term. We let you experience that, but you get to experience some other things. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of, this is a fictional person. Um, they've looked at the Q grid and they filled this out based on the objective facts about what is the nutritional value of an item and their taste. So just take a look at this. Look at this is for the Mediterranean diet, which is one of the phases you go through. As you know, the Mediterranean diet is really about limiting red meat and sweets. There's nothing really off the table, but it's watching a few things. By the way, for all of this, processed foods, added sugars, added salts, for any of these diets, we're saying that we want you to limit that. I'd love for you to take it off the table. So just keep that in mind. No matter what the phase is in conscious health, we want you to be mindful of sugars, salts, and processed foods. So the Mediterranean diet, again, here's an example. If you look at the top right corner, what I'll call box one, this is what they love. Extra virgin olive oil, tomatoes, garlic, onions, grapes, oranges, melons. This is the stuff they love. And so they're finding ways to get it in their salads, to get it in their meals. You go down to stuff that they know is really healthy for them. It tastes good. They don't hate it. Is chickpeas, lentils. Now you start to get into some of the protein, white beans, zucchini, bell peppers, cucumbers, and the list goes on. Several nuts listed here, a lot of fresh herbs listed here. It's an anchor category for them. They want to get plenty of these because they know These items are very healthy. It fits within the Mediterranean diet, and they like the way it tastes. Look over at the Taste Great Medium Healthy box. So they love feta and parmesan. It's to each his own. They love uh, these items. They do some roast chicken, some tahini. So these are items that it's a medium health, uh, but 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 they love how they taste, and so they want to build those in. And then that middle category, uh, you see items that you recognize. You start to get some other meat. You get some turkey in there. You get some seafood in there. Um, uh, red wine. A lot of people on the Mediterranean diet love their red wine, but they limit it to one glass a meal. So it's controversial when you talk about whether or not alcohol at all is healthy. But if you're going to eat or if you're going to drink alcohol, there are better choices, right? So these are all anchor items in the green. What do they have to balance? Well, they love salami. They love salami and chorizo and white bread and buttery pastries. They love that stuff, but they know they don't have a positive health profile, right? So that means I got to incorporate some sardines and mackerel and dandelion greens and fennel and leeks. I got to incorporate some of this other stuff into my diet that I don't really love, but I know provides some health benefit for me. And again, fennel, radishes. This is all stuff you can put arugula. This is all stuff you can put in the smoothie if you really don't want the taste of it, but want to get that nutrition from it. So those are those categories, and then the things that they chose to retire. So there's some of the refined white pastas and packaged breadsticks and sugary sodas. They're taking this stuff out. Lamb as a daily part of the diet. They're taking it out, right? They're retiring, on the other hand, the things that have a little bit medium health, but but they don't like the taste of it, so they're not gonna eat octopus or calamari or raisins. They don't want it because they don't like the taste of it. And they have agreed to just completely take off the table the processed cheese spread, the jarred cream sauces, the energy drinks. It's not beneficial for me, and I don't like the way it tastes anyway. Let's get it off the table. So that's the Mediterranean diet example. Let's look at another example. This is the vegan diet. If you're a listener or if you watch the Healthy and Black podcast, you know that I have been vegan for almost 20 years. That means, regardless of the taste, all animal products are off the table for me. Now, there are some things that have honey in it that it may slip into the diet as well. But otherwise, I have not knowingly had an animal product in almost 20 years. So this is not my example from a taste standpoint, because again, I don't get in. It don't matter that much to me. But for somebody who's a vegan who is really focused on taste, like here's an example of what their profile might look like. In the anchor category, black beans and sweet potatoes. See, I don't like sweet potatoes, by the way. Not cooked sweet potatoes. I like raw sweet potatoes. I'm odd in that way. Mushrooms, garlic, onions. So I'm not gonna go through each of these, but I want you just to see how it shifts a little bit. The anchor category shift some based on taste. The balance category, very healthy, but maybe I don't like the taste of tempeh or kale or bok choy. That stuff is important to get though for protein and for the green leafy vegetables, everything that they do with antioxidants and all of that, iron, all of this. Um, what about the balance category in the top left? It tastes great, but it's not healthy at all. It's vegan cheeses, vegan ice cream, French fries, vegan cookies, potato chips, white bagels, sweetened oat milk. So this particular person loves the taste of that. Is not very healthy, but they still choose to indulge because they're eating stuff on the other side. They're getting their nutritional yeast in, or they're getting their nori in as a snack instead of cookies sometimes. What about the retire categories? So this is where you get into a lot of the processed stuff, packaged frozen stuff, the fruit juices. And by packaged frozen, I don't mean frozen fruits. Frozen fruits and frozen vegetables are fine. These are the entrees, the whole meal and the packaged thing. Even if it's vegan, we know that it's not very healthy. And this person don't love the way they taste anyway. So they've put them in a retiring category. Look at the medium healthy things that they want to retire. Unsweetened plant yogurt, tahini, unsweetened dried fruit. Medium, but I don't like it. So I'm not going to waste my time on it. And then what have they decided to retire completely? The vegan bacon strips, vegan candy, energy drinks, fried plantains, sugar content, coconut oil as the primary fat, just everything going to using coconut oil. So you all see how this works. You think about each one of these categories. What are you going to put in those categories when you look at the list of the items that you know are very healthy? And most of us know what these items are. We have an idea about that ourselves here at Conscious Health. And again, this is based on the best research that we have at our disposal. It's up to you to decide, where do these things fit on your taste preference list. So I hope this is something that you have appreciated listening to. It's a practical tool. Again, you can put this in play tonight. If you want to learn about what our lists are, reach out to me. I can get you a copy of kind of what we use to distinguish between, healthy and not healthy. The idea is, again, just to become more conscious about the decisions that we're making when they come to our nutrition. Uh, Too many of our decisions are just in the moment. I happen to be here. This happens to be available. This is all I have time to prepare. I don't know how to prepare something else. These are all the issues that result in us eating food that, again, I say is not food. Food should be something that has some nutritional value for you because it's designed to give you the fuel you need to carry on your life activities. If it depletes that fuel, or if it doesn't provide fuel and depletes that energy, how can we technically call it food? It's a product. It's not produce. So thank you very much for listening to this episode of Healthy and Black. Excited about where we are with Conscious Health. Again, if you're interested in being one of our pilot testers, please reach out. I can give you a code that you can go on to bypass the paywall to test out the app for us. We have some customer pilots coming up soon, so more to come about that. And again, I already have ideas around how to make our platform even more engaging for people. So stay tuned about that. And please share this episode, like this episode, tell your friends about it, send it to them. Folks that you know probably need to be thinking about this grid, send it to them. Have them think about it. And as always, I am open for feedback. You can reach me at Jarik at Qonscious, Qonscious health.com. And always, you can reach me through any social media channel. Just search for Jarik Conrad. It's only one. There's a few others, but they were named after me. So I have my son. I have a gentleman who his mother was a school teacher. I was in her class. She liked the name. So he's got the name as well. His last name is not Conrad, but he's got Jarik. So I'm easy to find. You all take care. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Healthy and Black. Bye-bye. Thank you for spending this time with us on Healthy and Black. If today's conversation landed for you, share it with at least one person in your life who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to go deeper, to do the personal work required to feel better, think better, and perform better, I work with high-achieving professionals through my coaching practice. You can learn more and get started at jarikconrad.com. I'm Dr. Jarik Conrad. Keep investing in yourself. And remember, don't let culture, cost, or convenience ruin your health. Until next time.